Maxx Crosby said that he wants Aaron Rodgers. Relax. He wants Aaron Rodgers to play in Las Vegas in 2025, speaking on his fledgling podcast, because everyone's got one, even I have one. So Crosby said, I think with all the doubt and negativity around Rodgers, he's going to have a big year. I hope it's in our town, Crosby said in the latest episode of another Jock podcast. That would be legendary, he stated. All right, so the Raiders, if you don't know this, they suck. They also have an open chair. They have an open chair. They won 4 games and lost 13 with my guy, Gardner Minshew, starting some of those games, Aiden O'Connell, and a parade of other losers that came through Vegas. So let's discuss the question, how much does Maxx Crosby's endorsement of Aaron Rodgers matter to Vegas? How much does it matter to Vegas? So I've got Grizzly Bear, Mr. Skin, and GPS. And we'll combine all of these things together, and we're going to make some pigs in a blanket. Perfect appetizer. You go to like a wedding, a bar mitzvah, or something like that. You get those pigs in a blanket. That's the way to go. So my first thought on this, Maxx Crosby, who, without getting into the meat of the matter right away, Maxx Crosby, you look at him, and it's like AI-generated what a Raider defensive player should look like. Like he's right out of central casting. And if you put that into like the supercomputer and said, all right, what's a Raider? It would be Maxx Crosby. The image of Maxx Crosby would come up. Now, regardless of that, do I think Maxx Crosby has any real influence over what the Raiders do? Absolutely not. I think there's a better chance Maxx Crosby's traded than the Raiders listen to Maxx Crosby on who should play quarterback in Vegas. So his ability to affect the outcome of roster moves to the Raiders is squadoosh. Okay, it's like the Joker from Batman. It's zero zip and zilch nada, all that stuff. Now, it's just background noise. It's all it is, background noise. Now, this is Tom Brady's opportunity. He is the Grizzly Bear. Not in underwear. He's the Grizzly Bear. And we know that the bear, from watching nature documentaries back in the day, the bear marks the territory by doing what? By scratching at trees and by leaving claw marks on trees. So Tom Brady's trying to leave a claw mark on the Raiders, even though he's only got a bit part of the team, not a controlling interest. Mark Davis has no idea what he's doing. He's eating that orange chicken at P.F. Chang's. He doesn't know what's going on. So he's allowing Tom Brady to decide what's happening. Brady hired a puppet, and he's the GM by proxy. So one of his old college buddies is allegedly the GM, but we know Tom Brady is supposedly calling the shots here. But Brady needs something because he's got nothing. He is on pace to be the next Michael Jordan as far as great all-time players that blow as executives. Remember, he wanted Ben Johnson. He said, give me my Johnson. And Ben Johnson said, screw you. I'm going to Chicago. I'm not going there. So he already flopped on the outside-the-box coaching hire, Tom Brady. Now, Pete Carroll's good. I have nothing against Pete Carroll, but it's not exactly an original hire when Pete's already had 3 or 4 NFL head coaching jobs. I think it's 3. This is his 4th. But depending on who gets the Raider quarterback job, this is the opportunity. Right? This is the opportunity, and it doesn't seem like Aaron Rodgers is legit based on the information that we know. And there's really nothing out there that's all that exciting, though. That's the problem. There's nothing out there. They're like, oh, that's pretty good. Sam Darnold? Please. Come on. Russell Wilson, the rotting carcass of Russell Wilson? If they sign Russell Wilson, they might as well make a deal with Seattle, bring back like the 12 slogan to Vegas. They can add that out there and see if Richard Sherman wants to keep playing. All right, now, page 2. So if Vegas is out, where will Mr. Rogers' neighborhood end up? Where does it end up? So now we've learned, based on minutes-long Maller research, that the most likely outcome at this hour, remember, we do the show today. We're not worried about tomorrow's show or yesterday's show. We do the show right now. So today's show we're concerned about, and the favorites to land Aaron Rodgers are the Giants, Giants. They are at minus 150 odds that's over on DraftKings, to acquire the services of Aaron Rodgers. We're not sure if that's good or bad. For our purposes, it's good. We know that. So the question, it's obviously interesting. The question is, the Giants now emerging as that betting favorite for Aaron Rodgers, not the Raiders. What is your reaction to that? So as I often point out, gambling markets are a pretty good indicator of outcomes. Not perfect, but they're pretty good indicator. They have liability. The real Mr. Skin is in the gambling market, not the guy pointing out naked people in movies, because they got skin in the game, right? They got skin in the game, and there's money tied up, and if they get it wrong and everyone goes one direction and those people win, then they're bleeding money. Becomes problematic. But Aaron Rodgers is a one-man circus. Not that great anymore, but it's under the big top. Come one, come all, fun for all ages. For Aaron Rodgers, not for the squeamish or the faint of heart, watching Aaron Rodgers play quarterback. And I just love the idea that he could blow through Jersey, suck with the Jets, and then end up stinking up the joint with the Giants. That's just perfect. That is poetry. Is not in motion, because Rodgers doesn't have a lot of motion anymore, but it would be great. Now, final thought. We go to Minnesota. Franchise deadline day has come and gone, and the Vikings have decided, as we knew, they were not going to play tag with Sam Darnold. It is interesting to note, though, the Vikings are said to be in negotiations with the aforementioned quarterback Sam Darnold. They have discussed a short-term deal that would keep him in the Twin Cities. So there's said to be mutual interest. Okay. So Sam Darnold's like, somebody wants to offer me money, I'll listen. If someone wants to offer you money, you listen. So free agency begins in less than a week. I know you're very excited about that. Try to stay calm. I know. It's very exciting. It's titillating is what it is. All right. So is there really a path for Sam Darnold to stay in Minnesota? Is there a path? So there should not be a path, right? Objectively speaking, it's dumb. The only reason that Darnold would go back to Minnesota is no one else wants him, right? I mean, think of this. The Vikings with Darnold, they were paper, like a paper mache building. They were a house of cards. You knew what was going to happen, and it happened as we anticipated. Very few things in life are guaranteed, but watching Sam Darnold drool down his chin in a big game, yeah. So you got to say the only way this happens is if the GPS is broken. It's like Sam Darnold's he had a career year with the Minnesota Vikings, and if he cannot find on the GPS the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, then he'd go back, but he would not sign any more than a 1 or 2 year kind of contract there. And the Vikings should let Sam Darnold go and focus their attention on J.J. McCarthy. Because in my eyes, and I'm not a Viking person, I don't have a horse in the race here, but if I'm the Vikings, I want nothing to do with Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold screwed you over. All right, he was right there. Final week of the season against the Lions, he went out there and rode the vomit comet, and then did it again just to prove that it wasn't a mistake against the Rams in the playoffs. He got sweaty palms. And just like had that red look of dismay in his eyes. He crumbled. So you don't reward that. But it is interesting that Darnold is supposedly talking. Now, you talk to anybody that wants to offer you money. I learned that years ago. However, the fact that supposedly there's actual numbers going back and forth, that tells you that there ain't much out there for Sam Darnold, right? There's not a lot out there. There's not a lot of people that are like, hey, we want us some Sam Darnold. There's not a lot of that going on. And you and I both know, right? NFL free agency, it's already underway. right? The chatter, all that, it's all already underway. It's going on. These conversations are happening through intermediaries and all that.